in my first second year of Art of Living. I thought it was about practicing Sudarshan Kriya, and suddenly everybody is like crazy about attending homas. What I want to say is, Art Navratri is one of the biggest festival of Art of Living. How many of you know that? If somebody doesn't know anything about Navratri, Art of Living Navratri, for me he is a stranger to Art of Living. Even if he has done so many advanced courses and so many, he's doing Seva Sadhana Satsang from a long time, but he doesn't know how powerful Navratri for Art of Living, then he is a new to Art of Living for me. That deep I have my experiences with Art of Living, and of course when you hear Gurudev, you will realize that. And if you have been to ashram during Navratri, you have no question about it. During Navratri, from every country, you will see people in ashram. I think Bangalore is the place where people go to office during Navratri. Otherwise, the hardcore devotees, they are in ashram during Navratri from anywhere in the world. In a physical environment, we used to take people to Navratri. We did not tell them the significance of Navratri. This is how Art of Living is. We don't tell them that you will have fun, wonderful experience. We give them an experience, right? We make them do Sudarshan Kriya, and then we ask them. After 40 days, they only tell us this is magic, right? Like Navratri also. This is the first time I have to tell significance of Navratri like that. Otherwise, we say, what you are doing? Take holiday and come to Navratri. That's all. See, we get caught up in our materialistic life, right? So many desires, so many goals. In office, I have to do this thing. In personal life, I have to do this thing. From morning to night, we are busy in, performing some activity, some task, achieving something. And the story goes on, right? Getting caught up in that Maya, never ending, that chain. We get caught. Now Gurudev says, Navratri and Shivratri, there are some festivals which has a very significance, planetary situation also, mythological reason also. That time you should remember that this is not the most important thing. This is not it. There is something beyond. When you see a tree, leaves are not the tree, right? See, if you cut the leaves will come again, right? Sometimes if you cut the branches will grow again. But what is the most important part of the tree? Roots. So if you do not water the roots, there's no point of taking care of leaves and trunk and branches. Isn't it so? So that's what Gurudev said. This is the time you should remember, take care of the roots. So what is that? See the manifested part, forms, that is all leaves. Material world, where we can see, we can feel, we can do our day-to-day activities. But what is behind all this? The unmanifested part, the energy, the divinity. That is what is running everything. Getting in touch with that. That is what Gurudev says. Clear? So like kids, they keep on playing and they get tired. Then mother calls, okay, come back home. Food is ready, take rest. That is the time of Navratri. We played throughout the year. Now time to regenerate. That's what happens in night, no? What do you do in the night? You relax. Whatever was there, whatever you did throughout the day, you did not do throughout the day, you could achieve, you could not achieve. But in night, you forget everything and go to bed. Right? That's what Gurudev says. This is this 9 nights. 9 nights have this power to regenerate yourself. So what are you supposed to do during this 9 nights? You are supposed to meditate. So you are supposed to listen to some knowledge. You are supposed to sing bhajans, relax. And another very important part of all this is surrendering the sankalpa. You understand? Very, very important part. See, even if a small desire is then stuck in your head, you cannot relax. Gurudev says, no, before going to bed, even if you think, oh, I should have put off that light, you cannot sleep. Like that. And our mind is full with so many desires, problem after problem, goal after goal. One thing happened, another thing I want. Then when can we relax? We cannot relax. So during Navratri, we surrender everything. Okay, Mother, Divine Mother, you take care. I know you have all the infinite intelligence, the power. You take care of all my problems. You take care of all my desires. Let me meditate. Then what happens? Then only actually the samadhi surrender. After surrender only that samadhi is possible. And when you follow this, people follow some rituals, sadhana, fasting, meditation. When you follow this diligently for 9 days, then what happens? That prana shakti rises. And that prana shakti rises, वो बोलते हैं ना, सत्व वृद्धि कार्य सिद्धि. Once that prana shakti rises, all your challenges, all your desires starts fulfilling automatically. That is the secret. And that is the only way, siddhi, to achieve perfection, not by effort. So don't you think it is the most intelligent way? You would have, by your experience, you would have realized you cannot achieve everything with your effort. There is some divine intelligence that is running everything. So attending to that principle is Navratri. So will you do that? Very, very important. Okay. Now, my experience with Art of Living Navratri has been phenomenal. See, first time when I attended it, it was in 2010 when I was in Delhi. And if you know a little bit of my, prior Art of Living personality, what I've shared before, I was totally not interested in anything like homas, pujas. That was not in my syllabus. Who has time for all this like that? So I did advanced course in Delhi, Chhatarpur, where Navratri was happening. Yes, the environment was blissful and everything, but I was there for advanced course. Okay. I did advanced course, evening, beautiful, blissful satsang used to happening. I knew some puja is happening. And the only highlight part was for me was the fasting food was a separate counter. Nothing else. Okay. And being me, I was not interested. Okay. Now, fortunately, I was in Bangalore during 2012 Navratri. Because once you become active in Art of Living, you start getting flooded with Navratri messages from all around. Right from the people who you look up to, like my teachers, my mentors, they are also saying go, and I'm attending Navratri. Then I thought must be there is something, like Tathagata was wondering. And see, this is the best thing to do in Art of Living. Huh? Whatever your seniors tell, just do it blindly. Otherwise, there is no progress. So I was intelligent enough to follow that. So one of my mentor in Whitefield, Darshan Bhaiya, I was in Kerala that time, 2012. But I said, okay, I'll come to Navratri. Then where will I stay? You stay at my home. And those people were so fantastic. I knew he will take care of my stay. He will take care of my food. He will take care of my travel to Whitefield, from Whitefield to Ashram every day during Homa. And that's what it happened. Everything was properly arranged. I used to go in somebody's car. And then first time I saw, my God, so much of crowd. I've visited ashram before, but never imagined the whole world is here. That imagine 2012, there on Chandi Homa day, there were 30,000 people in ashram. Food was prepared for 30,000. I was seeing crowd, so much of crowd. And people are so sincerely attending Homa. Means if Homa starts at 9 or 8, people are sitting there from 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. And that to everybody whom I look up to. I thought, why? Means how come? Means, but I follow whatever they say, because by the time I had the connection, I had the faith. Whatever they say, I don't question. Then I used to look at them. Okay, they are meditating. I should also meditate. I should also do everything sincerely. Like that, I attended, but it is very difficult sitting all throughout the Homa. Your back will ache. Your sometimes though, what happened, like we did not get a seat inside the Yagnashala also, but somewhere we found a place and we sat and we meditated because everybody is doing. That is the power of Sangha, no? When everybody is around you is sincere, you have no choice. So I did like that. And when Chandi Homa happened, my goodness, you cannot imagine the bliss that you experience. And whether you believe it or not, like law of gravity works for everybody, it works for everybody. Whether you understand it or not, you will experience unimaginable bliss. And that day I realized, my God, this is something very powerful. Even if it is pain to sit all through, but what happens during Chandi Homa is literally bliss. 3-4 hours of bliss. What you experience after Sudarshan Kriya for 10 minutes, no? Imagine that will last for 3-4 hours until you eat a lot. Like that. So that from that day, 2012, that day I decided every Navratri I will come. And I decided next Navratri, I am going to do an advanced course only. Because, see, coming from far, anyway, you're coming. I was in Kerala that time. Let's do an advanced course. So next year, that year only I booked, means Navratri advanced course. If you do not know, it gets booked 6 months, 7 months in advance. If you wake up 2 months or 1 month before, it is already full. So I registered for advanced course next year, that year only for next year's advanced course. And I took a Sankalpa. Like everybody was talking about Sankalpa. I had no Sankalpa that time. So I asked Darshan Bhaiya what to take Sankalpa. He said, you take Sankalpa like I should attend all the Navratris. And that became a best Sankalpa for me. And the power of this is, it so happens like otherwise we don't know, no, during that period what challenges will come, will be there in the office. But next year also everything fell in place. Until now everything is falling in place. Yes, nobody is able to go to ashram, that is a different thing. But when it was possible, I was there. That is the beauty. And Navratri, every day there will be a different satsang. Somebody will share what Gurudev says about that day of Navratri. You would be getting messages about different Navadurga. Every day is significance of a Devi. Like we had today was Chandraghanta, Brahmacharini, Shailaputri, starts with Shailaputri, like that Navadurga we have. And every day there will be a different story and a significance behind that. Satsang, then Gurudev will be in silence and everybody will be just waiting for one of his glance and look. Because when Gurudev is silent, he's not like us doing advanced course, okay? Doing instructions, giving sign language to anybody. He will be totally with his homas and pujas. For him, like world does not exist. And devotees, people who are in love with Gurudev, they are just mad for his one look and all that, no? So for them also that wait becomes very difficult during Navratri. And that year, what happened during after on the last day of advanced course, when you open the silence, there was a lady. She came there. She said, "I am a aura photographer. I have taken aura photographs for around 20,000 plus people." And she says, "I just happened to be in ashram on the one of the day of Navratri. My sister brought me. She was not even an Art of Living follower." She said, "But," and I just like that, I took some that Killinear camera. I took some photographs, and I went home and I saw, and I was baffled. She said, "I had never seen people's aura more than 9 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, and in ashram everybody's aura is like 15 feet." Then I was like, "What is this?" Then she decided, okay, I will put some cameras in ashram during the Homa. She took permission and all, and she has put, every day she used to come, and from morning to night she has put her camera, and every periodically she took the aura photographs, and she showed us the presentation on the last day, and that was mind blowing. And so all my logical mind went away. And if you have time after today's this thing, I can show you the photos, but only for those who have time. Okay. And then that stories of Navratri, they are so uh, means it's not only like we used to say, no, goddess Durga killed Mahishasur. That's all. No significance behind it, and that is so eye opening. We do not have time. Otherwise, you know about asuras, devis. So you really start relating to all this knowledge. The beauty of art of living is, no, it's not only like this is like that. What is the science behind it? What is it symbolizes? So that's what everybody gets connected. Then since then, every year I'm going, ashram is like new. It is it is like celebrative atmosphere. Everywhere there is light, and the energy itself is different. You will not see a single face in ashram without having that bright smile and energy during Navratri. Otherwise, you go to ashram, there are some depressed people also hanging around. Yeah, ashram is like a hospital. But during Navratri, you will not find anybody like that. Everybody is in that blissful state. And when the uh, after Chandi Homa, that satsangs and all happen, and there are some days like there are some cultural events as well. It's a full celebration. And last day satsang, Gurudev will open his silence and he will make everybody dance, and that is just unbelievable. You cannot hold yourself. How many of you think like satsang happens, but other people dance? I do not dance. You know why? Because that energy is still not that up. But on the last day of Navratri, you will dissolve. That energy is like that. You will forget your what is happening in your life. You will forget what next, and you will simply open up during in that bliss. So all that knowledge, what you have heard till now, no, that bears fruit during that Navratri. It is so, so beautiful. And I've been so fortunate after that. I mean, I've been attending Navratri from every year. Even I was in Japan, you can't believe. Uh, and my go live was planned during Navratri. But I said, no, I am going. And it happened. And there also, from Japan, also people come to Art of Living Ashram during Navratri. Two times from Japan, I came specially for Navratri. The expenditure itself for to and fro travel, I had to bear myself. Company do not provide the intermediate travel to your home during your on-site. So it was like around 70,000, 80,000 expenditure, but it was so worth it. Now imagine first year of Navratri, I was not ready to go to ashram on my own expense. And after so many years, I was coming from Japan, spending around 1 lakh rupees just to be in ashram during that 9 days. And I'm telling you, if somebody asks me what are the most beautiful days of your life, I can count the Navratri days. Now I don't live my life like New Year to New Year. It is like Navratri to Navratri. And I still count how many more Navratris to attend. I am telling you, every other experience is beyond. Whatever you achieve in life, you cannot achieve this bliss. It's not possible. Yeah. And Gurudev says the homas that he does in ashram, it doesn't have effect on only your consciousness. It has a global impact. Yeah? Now, when you see those aura photos, no, you will understand. How many of you would like to see that? I've digged in my inbox. I found all the photos and put it in the PPT. If you can wait after 9, then maybe some stories of asuras and all. If you want to hear, I can share. That depends on you if you're interested. Acha, how many of you know how to celebrate Navratri? This much I expect. Now, when you have heard sessions of other teachers, you know how to celebrate Navratri. Now, that is a different story whether you are ready to do it or not. But you would have heard. So, can somebody tell me how to celebrate Navratri? How to make most of it? How many of you? Anybody? When something is so important, such significance, how to make most of it? You don't know? See, first thing you should know is first 3 days of Navratri are for Tamas. Next 3 days are for Rajas. And then last 3 days are for Sattva. This much you know. So this is what happens, no? From Tamas, what we do? We do sadhana, we do meditation, then with that needs little bit of Rajas, and then Sattva arises. So first 3 days, see, and this is you will experience actually. If you are little sensitive, you will see there is so much of lethargy, there is so much of inertia in body. Still, if you go with attending satsang, start attending Rudra Puja, then you will find slowly that energy is coming. Then you can continue. Some people fast also, you know. So, and after, if you go through that 3 days, 6 days of Navratri like that, 7 days itself, you will start feeling so nice without any reason. All your problems are there in your life. 7th, 8th day, you cannot but smile. This is what. And every day, the different Devis, Gurudev said, no? Different Devis, these are different energies. Actually, what we are doing is we are moving from imperfections to perfections. Gurudev says, no, there are so many asuras in life. The mythological stories are like Mahishasur, Madhuketa, Shumbanishamba, Chandamunda, Raktabijasur. And there is a story associated with everybody. What is Mahishasur? Mahishasur, anybody? Mahishasur is inertia, laziness. Biggest problem, isn't it? Now, that is what Mahishasur Mardini we call. Because she has killed the Mahishasur, who was very strong. Mahisha means buffalo. You know, the Asur with the face of a buffalo. It is very difficult to defeat, very difficult to overcome laziness, inertia. What is inertia? Let it be. Whatever is happening, let it be. चलता है attitude. कहते हैं ना, corruption है, let it be. People are not doing art of living, let it be. Yeah, means that inertia. See, otherwise, a healthy, active consciousness, he cannot but take responsibility. So it is very important to overcome that inertia, and that is only possible by rising this divine energy. That is why even gods used to pray to Devi to take away this inertia. Like that, with every, Asura is Asur is perfection. Asur is imperfection. So we have to overcome all these imperfections by rising the Prana Shakti. And finally, what happens? Victory over everybody, everything. Then we celebrate Vijayadashmi. So beautiful it is. If you can stay after 9, and if you are interested, 1 or 2 stories we can, have a discussion on it. I can share my insight about it. Though I don't remember everything, but we can have this thing. So, so what you got? So 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, like that. And if you follow whatever meditation you could follow, you for little bit of diet, sattvic diet you follow, then your experience will be fantastic. Then also some little contribution is very important during Navratri. When this Mahayagya happens, it is the opportunity to get yourself purified. Now, how do you get yourself purified? By contributing. So there are several ways to contribute. For this yagyas, you can donate to VDS, you can donate to DSY. You can give your time. During the physical Navratri, we used to go and cut vegetables. We used to do seva in ashram. Then there are different sevas. You will see a lot of guards, there are different opportunities. Imagine making last year Navratri, I think there were how many people? Around 1 lakh people. Yeah, around 1 lakh people. So on Chandi Homa day, they will make food for 1 lakh people. And that too, not just 2-3 items. It will be around 20 items. And Gurudev will specifically ask everybody to have food during Chandi Homa. You're not going home, even if it is late. Have that is prasad. Ritam will specifically wait for that food. No? 20 different items, and teachers go and serve it. It is such an amazing feeling. And sometimes we used to take sevak from our center, and we used to stay there for 2-3 days. We used to wash big utensils in the night, cut vegetables. That is what contributing to effort, seva. So that purifies your karma. Then meditating sincerely also is contributing to the global impact that Navratri Homa is making. Isn't it so? Like now, world is going through so much of calamity. But if you meditate with that intention, let everybody get peace. That is such a contribution. Like that, you should contribute. Then another thing is sankalpa. Very, very important. Sankalpa is whatever is bothering you or whatever goal is there in your mind, you during this homa, you take that sankalpa. Officially, there is like if you take official sankalpa, they will make you sit in a different section where they ask you to take mantras, pronounce your gotra and everything, so that you get a special feeling. But you can take sankalpa anywhere, okay? So why I'm saying this is, don't say now I am not in ashram, I cannot take sankalpa. No, in your home also you can take sankalpa. If you want to contribute monetarily, you can contribute also and take sankalpa, but otherwise also you can take sankalpa. Your sincerity and surrender is very important. And the most important part of sankalpa is surrender. You don't keep thinking now how I want this, I want this, I want this. The whole homa, you don't sit like this. You say, Devi, you take care, and I'm going to relax. All right. This is how intention, attention, manifestation happens. How many of you understand that? There is a science behind it. The surrender is very, very important. And if I say, if you be little sincere in attending this homa, surrender will happen automatically. The divine energy overtakes. Many times people ask, I cannot surrender. How can I surrender? Surrender, you don't have to do anything. It happens automatically. You just have to stop the unnecessary effort that you're doing. You're holding on to it. You just have to relax. After that, celebration. That is also a very important part of it. So whole point of telling everything is take leave on 13th of October. Okay? And be 100% there. Don't tell there are something more important. If something is more challenging, you have to attend homas more sincerely. How can you solve your problems without with a blunt saw? You have to sharpen the saw. You have to water the roots. Mind says that no, I will think next time. So tell him, shut up and attend Navratri properly. I'll be very happy. Then you share your experience. You will see so many things that you are struggling in your life. No, you simply have to attend Navratri. Don't have to do anything about it. Everything automatically will happen. Wonderful. This has been my experience.